Yes, people, hope everyone is doing good. I am back. I'm here with a video. I won't make this one too long because, again, it is silly AM right now. I found a few hours to do this, so I appreciate everyone. I have been away, of course. I've been doing my coaching badges this weekend, so YouTube has not been in my brain at all. But thank you for everyone who supported me recently. You're all legends. It's been a stressful time, but no one cares. No one's here for that. Hope everyone is good. The Leeds United football game. So now for this one, what I'm going to do to give you guys a different perspective, because, I don't want to use the same perspective or say similar things to what a lot of people are saying. I like to do something a little different at times, And I saw what Jay said on Joe's show, and I was messaging Andre and Joe in the group chat, and Andre was agreeing with me, going, "This is a good game. Not entertaining, boring, not entertaining. Nothing really stood out individually, but from putting the coaching side of my brain on, but pressed it. It's not going to do well. My brain's a bit fried at the moment. But putting that on during the game, I massively appreciated that from a tactical perspective. I know Joe on Joe's show said the same thing. When he said that, it was music to my ears, because I was like, yeah, it's not just me. Andre said it as well. So I'm thinking, right. I wasn't just thinking on my own wave, And the reason for me is you could clearly tell, like I said, this is not entertaining. I'm not saying it is for anyone has a go. No one's saying that. Just from the coaching side, that was a very highly tactical game. That was like a game of chess. You could tell, and this is what I appreciate, both managers have put a hell of a lot of thought into this one, and they've worked extremely hard on shape and how to nullify threats. That's why in the game, there was never really any standout individual for either team. I think for us, our best moment came through Jaden Bogle again. And for them, the way we nullify Brownhill. Brownhill is renowned and known for attacking the box and getting in the box and making runs at the edge of the box and scoring goals. Look at his record this season. Look at his record last season, the season before that. It's what he does. We completely nullified that threat. Likewise, they did for us. The Dan James in behind. They covered it so well. Every time we got that ball wide, whether it was a quick transition or they played deep, they nullified the depth. They give us zero depth. Also, doubled up on our wingers every single time. When we went ball, and there was always at least one covering. Sometimes a third guy was ready. There's always 2 or 3 people between the ball and the next attacker. It was so well done, and they got back in position so well. So what you kind of got was a lot of scrappy play, because both teams' shape was so good that naturally in your psyche as a player, you're now hesitating with each pass, because deep down that they're setting up in a way that they might read each pass. They might intercept it. They might want you to go there. That might be a trap they've set, which made it a very kind of nervy and scrappy game without any real quality. The quality came from the shape of both sides, in my opinion, and how both teams and managers were able to nullify the threats of the opposition. Now, like I said, this is not entertaining. I'm not saying it is. But from a coaching perspective, it's very intriguing, very intriguing. And that's why, you come from my channel, I'm going to give that side of it. That's what I do. That's why I do it, right? The passion will come out at times, but sometimes I just sit there and go, yeah, this is intriguing, this one. And for me, because the rhetoric online, naturally, as a diehard fan, is that we're boring. I hated it every second. Weren't entertaining. But for someone that maybe is looking at it more from a tactical perspective, who's been part of games, which, believe me, most football games that you're part of are boring. It just is. There's moments in games that are exciting. Very rare, no matter what level you're in a football game, that is exciting, especially when there's quality. But it was so interesting to me. It just was. I found it really intriguing. Thought it was an intriguing game. Two top teams at this level with a really solid shape. So, look, the criticism is there. I don't understand it. I never will. I never will. You know, one thing I did learn this weekend from doing the badges with real coaches is the amount of hard work, dedication, timing, thinking, learning goes into becoming even a lower grassroots coach. So to get a coach that is at the level they're at, winning every week, getting wins after wins and goals after goals, not conceding after each game, not conceding, is very impressive. There's so much hard work that goes into that. So respect to both teams. The game was boring, so maybe don't be that good next time. But respect to both teams from a shape perspective, because it was very intriguing to me personally. I don't want to watch that every week. Of course I don't. Why would I? But it was very intriguing to me. And the criticism, as usual, whenever, you know, we don't batter a team 9-0, there is this overriding rhetoric of just constant criticism for something that doesn't really exist. You know, people always like to say, to defend themselves, you're allowed to criticise players, and managers. Of course, you're allowed to criticise. But there's also a thing called being overcritical, and you're just being critical for the sake of it. That can also be a thing as well. That is a thing that exists. And for me, that I see it every time. There's always got to be a scapegoat. There's always got to be an outlet for frustration for people, and it's got to be either the manager or a player. I find it strange. I find it strange personally. Like I said, if you guys have watched, I criticise players any day of the week. I thought Ampadu was poor at centre back in moments today. I thought his distribution wasn't great. I thought he led the team well. I thought the team was structured, and he's part of that. He's the captain. He's at centre back. On the ball, I thought he was poor. I thought he slowed it down a little bit. I thought the entire team was poor at finding Dan James. I don't think we went early enough. I thought our final third decision from Pirro, our wingers even at times, and when Joseph came on, and even Ramazani, I don't think they did enough in the game. I thought our midfield did well. I want Ampadu in there. Crying out for it. Gruev, it's good to see Gruev back. You know, I'll criticise players. I don't care. I just think it's every week. Why is it every week? It's like people sit there and go, right, there's got to be someone I can criticise. No, it's not a thing that always has to happen. But it always happens. It's so interesting. It's so strange. I don't know. It's whatever, innit? The fact of the matter is, we've lost 3 games. 29 games. Scored 53 goals. How many more than the next? Or over 13 more than the second highest? This is a high performing team we are right now. Because on the other side of that, reminding the fact that we don't hardly ever lose, the other side of the coin is our shape. There is not a weakness in this team that stands out to me. There's individuals that don't perform and don't do better. But as a structure, there is not a weakness to it. This team is very well organised in every way, shape and form. We create the most chances. We have the least shots against us. And if it weren't for some underperforming individuals in the team at times, we'd be better than we are. But structurally, we are immense. This is a very high-performing team. Very high-performing. The only issues are what happens if someone gets injured. What do you have to change? Moving these players around. 2 or 3 players at times. Missing big chances. Conceding terrible goals. You know, we've seen that this season. Those are the things that have let us down. Structurally, we are class. We are very, very good structurally. Ridiculously good. There's one person that shouldn't be getting criticised right now, and that's the manager. Because structurally, there's nothing anyone can show me, anything, that makes me say the manager structurally is getting anything wrong. I don't always agree with the starting lineup. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't make the manager bad, because I don't think I know more than him. That just means I disagree with him. Doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and go, I think he should start these. What a fraud. What? No. This is such a high-performing team. And if we just improved individual mistakes at times, we'd be flying away. We'd be flying away. Even in this game, I'm seeing people say, you know, Farker needs to take his foot, put his foot on the gas, let the team go, bring attackers on, go for it more. It's so easy to say it behind the screen or texting, isn't it? To say the manager should do this, the manager should go for it. From his perspective, he's created a structure in the game where Burnley have created nothing. Zero. He's created that. Why on earth would you take players out to deny that? You have enough, and we did create chances to score goals. Not loads, because that's the game. And Burnley, by the way, 9 goals. 9 against, that's it. If you think the best, and they're very clinical, they don't create a lot of chances, but they're clinical in the chances. If you think the best way to counter that is to be more offensive, leave gaps for them to exploit against a team that literally hardly gives anything up in terms of goals, it's naive. The team out there was a very high-drilled team. They knew their roles well, they defended excellently, and they did create 2 or 3 chances to score goals, which we didn't take. They weren't huge, they weren't clear. With better decision-making in the final third, the pass selection in the final third was bad. Very bad. If that pass selection is better, we're in on goal. If that chance for Bogle gets near the end, he's hit a second earlier, the shot on goal probably could have been a goal. There's moments in games where you create it, where you get in behind and that final ball isn't good enough, that final decision isn't good enough. But structurally, it's sound. Nothing needed to change. We did enough to not lose that game because we nullified them to nothing. And the opposition is doing nothing to score a goal, not even creating a threat in that second half, by the way, I don't think. Not even one threat that I can remember. Maybe one from a corner. Or the one where it was offside and he saved it. That's the best threat they had. When the opposition's doing that, why would you risk changing the game to release that threat? That is silly. There's nothing wrong with that result. That would have been an unbelievable win. And if we'd have took a late chance, which we had, we'd have won that. Tell me, because I can't remember. Maybe I'm forgetting. Genuinely, maybe I'm forgetting. I can't remember one chance they had, really, to score a goal. I can't remember it. There's nothing wrong with the way we set up. And if you're telling me we didn't create, yes, we did. I'm sorry, we did. We had 2 or 3 chances we could have scored in. This team is a very good team. Sometimes people are overcritical. Critical is fine. You're overcritical at times. People are, I think. When it's not needed. There's times when it's needed, and I just don't think there's times when it needs to be. People now, I literally said this would happen. Claiming that these guys need to change so many people. You don't need to change anything. Nothing needs to change. There's nothing wrong with this team. We need to add to it. Make it a bit bigger. That's all we need to do. Nothing needs to change. There's nothing about this team that needs to change. It's excellent. We need to add to it and give more options, to give players rests, have different options in certain games. That game today, by the way, in maybe the last 30 minutes was crying out for a physical number 10. It was crying out for it. Presence up there that could just hold on to the ball, cause problems. Crying out for it. Absolutely. But yeah. It's just so much criticism all the time. It just seems wild. Honestly, and I'm talking about a small amount here, by the way. Let me clarify. Small amount of people. It's a lot of it. I see people online, and honestly, I'm convinced some people are just player FC. They're constantly raving about players that are not performing at a level that they're saying they are, or they're saying they will perform that level if they play more. But again, it's easy to type that and say the manager should do this because he would win if he did that. What? Based on what? Based on the player's name, where he's from, he's young. Come on now. The manager picks the team based on everything, not just what we see. Based on what they're doing at training, the levels at training, how are they impressing them at training. He's rotated so much this year, and people saying he doesn't rotate is the biggest myth I've ever seen. He rotates so much. But why would you need to over-rotate when you're winning games, where you're doing enough, where you're nullifying the opposition to 0 chances? But yeah, it's the same as usual. It's always too much. I don't get it. I think it's ridiculous at times. Shout out to the away fans, by the way. Leeds United away fans who sounded class, and the players went up at the end. There's a real good connection there. Obviously, when I'm doing this, I'm talking about the online people, the ones that probably weren't there during League One days, or just don't like the manager for no reason other than he's not Marcelo Bielsa, or he's, I don't know, he was at Norwich before, so they're a bit like, oh, he's at Norwich. I don't know. Some people just don't like him for no reason. They talk about his tactics, but they don't expand on what that means. But whatever. Anyway. But yeah, the away fans were outstanding. They sounded so good. Big up to them. Obviously. They're absolute mint. But yeah. I like that. I didn't mind that at all. Not one bit. Not one bit. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.